Hiya, it's Kerry from Mobilates. You can see I am rubbing my hands because it is chilly here. We've had a sleety, wet afternoon. It is very, very cold. So I need to get moving. I need to get you moving. Welcome. You might be a regular. You might have been with me before Christmas and all the time before that because I've been here for a while in my Wednesday slot. Maybe you're new. Maybe it's your first time. It's all good. We're going to move together. We can move sitting, we can move standing, or we're going to lie down, or you can stay sitting. I like to keep all the options open. And if there's an option that I'm not creating for you, put a comment in, let me know, and then I'll try and include it because I want to get as many people moving in as many different ways as are comfortable for you. We're going to take it gently all the way through. So start with your legs a bit wider and your hands in this prayer position. We're going to move one hand round in some sort of circle, and then it just gently strokes down the other hand. And then the other hand moves round in a circle and it lightly meets the other. Breathe in. I forgot to say breathe out as well. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Both hands. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Last one. And breathe out. Give your body a little shake like you're trying to wriggle inside your top, wriggle inside your bottoms, wriggle on your chair, wriggle inside your socks, even your gloves. I've just got my long top on over my chilly hands, but just a little wiggle inside. And then we'll just be still. Soften your legs if you're standing. So there's a little bend in them. I'm going to put a hand on the belly, hand in the back. We're going to take a breath in, and it's to your ribs. You're widening your ribs. As you breathe out, a long, slow blow like you're blowing through a straw, and pull your belly back and just feel a little movement from your back here, lengthening down. It's like your bottom has dropped. As you breathe in, let your belly come forwards. If you look at the hem of my top, you can see the movement there. It's like a slight drop down. And then it drops and it goes level. If I'm doing this seated, have my hands on my knees. You might have noticed lots of cushions here today. We're going to use extra cushions today. If you're doing this seated, you pull back and it's like your pelvic area and your bum is rolling back like a wheel rolling behind you. Your shoulders and your head staying around the same place. That's it. We always do these ones. It just starts moving your lower back and getting a bit of movement into your pelvis and the low part of your spine. And then just have a little wriggle. Who's here today? I'm just getting messages. Jackie, Irene and Christine with me. Oh, live. That's so nice. I hope you're all keeping well. It's one of those times of year where it's hard to keep well. There's lots of things around. So I hope you're keeping the best you can. Right. Let's move a little bit more. Where should we go next? Let's go to our neck and our head. So a little tap behind. Pull your face back like you're a little surprised to have made it back to class right at the start of January. And then turn your head as easily as you can, side to side. You might have noticed my special guest here because the radiator's just on in the window. So she's taking the chair, the blanket on the chair is not on yet. It's a hot blanket, you know, I can heat it up. She's just coming here for the warmth, maybe a little entertainment. Come back to the center. Now some sort of neck roll that feels nice for you. So my favorite neck roll is this sort. I don't tend to go in a full circle, but I sort of do about a 3/4 circle. Once one way, once the other, and then I just keep it moving. But you could also stroke and rub your neck, give it a little massage, or you could use the tip of your nose and just draw little circles each way. So finish whatever you're doing with your neck. We're just looking ahead. And then Roll one shoulder a few times, like it's going over a little bridge, a little semicircle or rainbow, and some circles. And if your shoulder is really sore, you might keep this very small. If it's okay, you might make it a little bigger. And then the other side. So start small and just see how it feels, like a mini assessment. And then now make it a little bigger if it feels okay. And then we can do one and then the other and just invite a little bit of a turn into the waist, because that's where we're going next. A little bit of rotation into the spine. We're going to take it forwards. If you're seated on a chair, I'm just going to move my cushions out of the way a little bit. Legs about 2 fists apart, and your side of your legs is at a right angle. They're sort of L shape. Slide your hands forwards and backwards and just bring that rotation into your spine. If you're standing, take your legs wider and just let your arms just twist around you gently. But your legs, you see I'm moving from foot to foot and I'm doing a little twist because I'm not really forcing this. I'm just letting the body flow a little. And now if you're seated, sort of swish around you. Maybe take your legs a little wider. Nice soft twist. Gorgeous. Then we're going to step to the side and step to the other side. Step to the side, the weight goes over. That's it. So the weight's going to the outside part each time. If you're doing this seated, the weight's coming over here, so you're tilting, and then over there, over here, and over there. If you feel a bit wobbly, hold on to your chair. And then we're going to do that with an arm moving outwards and the other arm moving outwards. You can do this with your feet tapping together. It's a bit harder to balance. Or you can do it with them not tapping. I've got to remember to do the right thing now. Just a little side sort of tap rather than bringing those feet together. So that option there too. Then come back to the center. Now circle your arms one at a time, like you're drawing a big circle in front of you. That's it. And now that circle behind you. And your body can twist and turn a little bit as you do this. Now if that's too much for your arm, an elbow circle. So too much for your arm, too much for your shoulder, it's just hurting somewhere. It might be that one side can do a circle with a full arm and the other one wants an elbow circle. Lovely. Now if you're standing, I want you to imagine that you're sliding down a wall. Your legs are apart, comfortable width, but the feet, toes forwards. So slide down a wall and then stand up. Arms out at the sides, just relaxed. What you're not doing is you're not tipping forwards like that. We're keeping upright. You can almost imagine the back of your head there in contact with the wall. You can even take it to a wall. If you're sitting, take your legs a little wider. I want you to push down the legs into the feet and then relax. You'll see I slightly grow in height as I push down, and then as I ease off, you'll see my head drop down a little. So push, spine sort of rises up, and then it's dropped down. Now all of us, we're either going to stand or sit. Lift your toes up and down. You could just about see mine twitching there at the bottom of the screen. And now rock through your feet. You can hold on to something, edge of the chair, touch a wall, use a stick. Just a little rock forwards and backwards. Try and relax your arms as much as you can, but your belly needs a little bit of tension. That's it. And then still, we're going back to that same pushing down or sliding down the wall. Do 3. And then we're going to lift those toes up and down. Perfect. And rock again. If I show you from the side, you'll see how much I'm going. I'm starting to rock slightly more and lift my toes up as I go back. Oh, that was a big one. over-egged it a little bit there, not for the first time in my life. And then give everything a little shake off. We're going to go for a side bend next. So I want this arm somewhere upwards, maybe on your chest, maybe by your ear. If you can manage it by your ear, use your ear. And we're going to open up our side ribs. We're not trying to move our hips and sort of wiggle from side to side. So we'll keep this bit still. In fact, I'd like you to put a hand on that bumpy bone there. Keep that there as you open up the side like this, like this. And if you're seated, same again. And on this next one, we're going to hold it. Now this big space you've created, breathe into it and expand that whole area of the ribs like it's these fingers and they're stretching outwards. And then as you breathe out, bring the arm down. Just have your shoulders, a little shimmy, wriggle. And then we're going to go the same on the other side. So hand on the chest, or you might do this salute, or even hold the back of your head if that's comfortable. I prefer the salute. I like to press my fingertips into my head. Other hand, hold your hip. Just feel that hip bone. You don't want it to move up or down. If you're sitting, it tends to stay in place because your bum is right against the chair seat. If you're standing, there's a tendency for the weight to shift and get this big stretch like this. How far can I go over here? It's none of that. It's how far can you open this up? Keep the hip there. There's more of a stretch up and over. Keep the weight equal in both feet. So you don't want to feel that happening. You want to keep them steady and just open up here. Hold it. Breathe into this area. Put the hand there if you like. And breathe into your hand. See, I'm trying to push my hand over there. And then breathe out. Take it down. Give everything a little shake out. Right, next, can we take our hips back a little? Just pushing back like that. If you're seated, I'll show you from the side, we'll have a little hinge forwards. You can use your hands like brakes against your legs. Lovely. Next, we're going to bring in a little foot tap behind. So I'm tapping that foot towards the chair legs, and I'm bringing the foot closer to the other foot. And if I show you from the front, I'll show you what this looks like. And the hands, you could have them on your seat. We're bringing a sort of curtsy. So this is the seated version. If you're standing, start just tapping the foot behind. You can see my knee bends a little. That might be enough for you. You might find that as you do that, showing you from the side so you can see my spine, my back, I'm not leaning forwards. Now, if you can go a bit lower and then you get the little bum going back and the back leaning forwards, you can do that. If it's too much for your knees, just stay more upright and tap the foot behind, tap the toes behind. Maybe take up a bit more of that side stepping again, a bit more space. That's it. I always find this a really tricky one. My ankles are a little bit wobbly at the moment, and so it's definitely feeling it. Last two, 1, 2, and then take your legs wider. Take your arms upwards and your chest upwards, and just swing a little. It's quite passive. You don't want to crash into any furniture. Nothing like flinging the hand into something, that always hurts. So that's really just doing it for the upper body, bringing our back upwards, getting a little bit of extension into this part of our spine above my hand and below this hand, so into the neck and into this thoracic spine, your sort of mid-back. Now, what you can do, if you're happy to, is make this bigger. This is how it looks standing. So it's like I'm going to do a massive jump, but I don't jump up in the air. I mean, if you really want to do a little jump as well, I'll add a jump in, but that's just, I'm not aiming for that. It's a bonus. If you're doing this seated, I quite like doing this with my legs wide and then taking it up and going down between my legs. I feel like pressure going through my legs this way and strength And that's quite like it from my knees. So that's one way. You could just keep the arms going and leave the legs where they are. They're just pushing down a little. Or you might hinge forwards this way and get that swing. This is more similar to the standing version, just using the support of the chair as well. Last one. Bring that down. And then we're going to grab a cushion. If you're seated, could you place a cushion between your knees? If you're lying down, and that's where I'm heading, could you have a cushion between your knees? And maybe you want another cushion under your head. You're going to need 2 cushions. But I would like you to be comfortable as well. Right, let's take it down to the floor. I'm going to move the chair, but I'll keep showing seated options using the sofa. I just don't like it to be too cluttered visually for you. So, take your time getting down to the floor, and don't worry if you're not there yet. I'd rather you took your time and you got down there safely than you rushed. And when you get down there, just have a little wriggle side to side. If you're in your chair, you can let your legs just have a little sway like they're blowing in the breeze. And then walk your feet a little closer together. You can see my arms are outwards. If I was seated on the chair, I'd have my hands at the side of the chair just to hold me really steady. So your legs are pretty close together, but that cushion's between the knees. Now I'd like you to breathe in, and as you breathe in, I want you to widen your back and your ribs. So if I put my hands at my waist, that's the sort of area that we can feel it. In fact, let's do it. Let's put our hands there. It's easier if we can feel something. So breathe in and send the breath out to the sides in your back. And as you breathe out, again, a blowing out like you're blowing through a straw, could you start to gently squeeze this cushion between your legs? Just increase it as the breath goes out. And then let the knees sway, take the pressure off so the cushion becomes almost like you're going to drop it. And just let your legs have a little sway. Same again. Hands somewhere on the sides. Breathe into your hands at the sides. Blow the air out slowly and start to squeeze the cushion. Feel your belly tighten up. It's like there's a zip and it's being done up. It's going over your belly button. And maybe it's going just up to where your ribs start to divide. And then relax. Always feels like the cushion's going to drop. You can see mine does drop a little. And then holding that cushion just about between your legs, no particular pressure now. We're going to go back to the pelvic tilts. So if you're seated, pelvic tilts like we did at the beginning. If you're lying down, doing the pelvic tilts into the floor. So you're feeling more of your spine in contact with something. You might feel that your back lowers down right into the mat, or just that it lowers down a bit. And then it rolls forwards. I've got quite a baggy top on, but I can feel space that I could put my hand under, squash my hand, and then I go the other way, and my hand is not squashed. It's just underneath and it's snug. Now it's squashed. Now it's released. One more. And then ease it off. Again, just sway your legs gently. Right, next, let's go for placing the cushion underneath the back of your bum if you're lying down. If you're seated, could you have the cushion either behind you or under your bottom for a bit more squishiness and comfort? So if you're lying on the floor, your bum is just lifted up a little bit. And now I want you to start bringing your legs up to a tabletop. That means this area here is flat like a table and your legs are at a 90-degree angle, like an L shape. And taking it down. And then the other one. Now, as you do this, you don't want to rock side to side. I'm thinking of you if you're sitting, and I'm coming up with your version. Keep this going if you're lying down, maybe your arms downwards, or maybe like them on your belly. if you're seated, I'd like you to do a heel raise. So just lifting your heels up. You can see my knees just going up. And then I'd like you to just lift the leg, press one leg down, float the other foot off the floor, and then down. And then other way. This leg's pressing down, this leg's going up. Now you could just hover. So it's a tiny gap between your foot and the floor, and then a tiny gap on the other side. Next one's going to be different for all of us. Come up to your tabletop. This is my seated tabletop, and then extend the leg forwards. You can dig your heel in and bring your toes towards you, and then bring it back. Same on the other side. Bring it back. Everything else staying upright, stays as it is. Keep going. If you're lying down, just get it all back. All right, comfortable underneath. So we've got this tabletop. Now I'm extending away, thighs in line, toes are coming towards me, bringing it back, taking it down. Same on the other side. So I've got this sort of relaxed foot here. Now I'm extending away and the toes are coming towards me, pushing that heel away. Bring it back, take it down. And one more each side. That's it. Brilliant. And then bring your legs together and just let the knees fall out to the side. Relax your arms. So you might be holding them on the sides of the seat or just taking them out by your sides. And then stretch one leg away and the other leg away. And if you're sitting on a chair, just stretch things away from you. Maybe flop back against your seat. And just let your head have a little turn each way. It can roll if you're lying down. Bring everything back. And then just extend one leg away and wiggle the foot around like you're trying to draw circles with your heel. Bring that leg back, extend the other leg, and trying to draw circles with the other heel. That's it. And now take that cushion out from underneath your bum. And if you're seated, take the cushion out as well. Put the cushion back between your legs. Now, if you're lying down on the floor, we're going to roll onto our fronts, and we want this cushion between the legs. So it's probably easier to roll with the cushion there, and we're going to have it there to sort of squeeze into. If you are sitting on the chair, between your legs, please, as well. And I'll show you the version for your arms in a moment. But we're going to start with the cushion between our thighs. And if you're lying on the floor, you could either rest your head on another cushion. I've just got my forehead so my nose doesn't get squished. Or you might rest your hands underneath your head as like a little cushion there, and your elbows out to the side. So I prefer that. I like it quite firm underneath my head. And we're all going to just give the cushion a little squeeze. If you're sat in the chair, arms by your sides would be good. Give that cushion a little squeeze between the thighs and then release. Look at my legs. You can see I've released because my feet have fallen outwards. Bring the feet together. Make the legs firm and long and energized so you can feel stuff going on with them. And give your thighs a little squeeze into that cushion and then release. If you're seated, keep going with this, but could you push your arms down by your side like a really proud stance, but you're also squeezing a cushion between your thighs? Who doesn't feel proud when they're doing that? And because you're feeling proud, it's like your chest is going upwards just a little. You're not flinging your head right back or anything, just sending that chest up like a little thread is being pulled away. That's it. And then we're all working the same area. If you're lying on the floor, you might be tempted, as well as doing that little squeeze of the cushion, just to start lifting your head and chest just a little, and then take it down and let everything flop. A little squeeze, lifting up, taking down, let it flop. If you're seated, keep going with the proud arms. We'll do 3 more of these. It's a little reset for our backs. It counteracts lots of bending forwards. And then just let everything have a little sway, a little wriggle. And we're going to come to a seated position for everybody. So if you've been on the floor, you might want to roll back to being on your side, or you might want to push back, push right the way back so that you're in a sort of child position. You could spend a moment there or go to on all fours, whichever feels nicest for you. Just have a little wiggle along the way. So we're all going to come to a seated position. And because I've got these extra cushions, I'm going to sit on my cushions. But you could be sat on a chair. And get your legs in a comfortable position for you. So it could be cross-legged. I'm going to have my legs long. That's it. And you want to feel that your spine is upright. That's why I'm sat on the cushions, because if I went just on the mat, sometimes it gets a bit sort of squashed and curved at the bottom. So I just want to be nice and upright. Right, now we're going to take our arms upwards, like they're in a rugby goalpost position. So you've got this big wide shape going across. And just holding that there, feeling your chest, your head slightly back, like we've had that surprise again. Your chest is nice and upright, so we're not curved over like this, we're open. Now keep your head and your chest where it is. See if you can bring the arms, the elbows, the palms towards each other, and then open up. Bring them towards each other and open up. You might be able to go closer, have a little squeeze. You might not be able to. That's it. We're going to inhale as we open up. Exhale as we bring them together. Inhale, open up. Exhale together. And then we're going to open and drop the elbows down. Keep the hands sort of in this side position, like the sides of our head, and just bring the elbows down like they're coming towards your sides. And I felt my shoulders just drop down as the shoulder blades sort of curved around the sides there. Now we're going to squeeze under the arm and the sides here. Little squeeze down and then a bounce up. Squeeze and bounce. That's it. Squeeze and bounce. Couple more. Squeeze down, bounce up, and then take that down. Let's have some more rolls for the shoulders. Let's have a shrug, breathing in, ears up towards our shoulders. No, shoulders up towards our ears. And then melt it down. Breathe in, take them up. Melt down. One more. Bring one hand to the opposite leg or knee. It's just going across your body. The other hand behind the chair, behind you. A small twist. Stay there. Be upright and breathe in. Breathe out whenever you want to. Take another breath. And as you breathe out, come to the center. Have any little resets. Going to do the same again. So hand over to the other leg so it's come across your body. The other hand goes around the back of your chair or the floor, pushing away a little so you don't sort of sag down. You're just staying upright. Gentle twist. Breathe in. Breathe out whenever you want to, but stay where you are. Breathe in again. And as you breathe out, come back to the center. Bring your palms out to the side. Scoop up the air. Make a big circle. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, bring your hands to your heart, to your chest. Give yourselves a clap. First one done. We give it a tick. Oh, I hope that was okay for you. Nice to get moving, especially on a chilly day. I shall see you again this time next week. It's a date. So see me here either live or catch the recording on Facebook or on the Virtual Village Hall YouTube account. And I'll see you again soon. Have a good week. Keep warm.